DreAllDay.com.
What up, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Wanted to make this video as a follow-up to the first of my 5-part series of top 5s at each position in the NBA, the point guard debate. It was a highly contested debate, between Rajon Rondo, Steph Curry, Kyrie, Chris Paul, Tony Parker, and Russell Westbrook, and Derrick Rose. Between those 7, I think it was so many different orders people put them in. A lot of people with a lot of opinions. One person in particular who I want to discuss in this particular video is Russell Westbrook. Now, a lot of people who dropped Russ on the list or dropped him completely off the list, a lot of y'all said something like, he shoots too much for a point guard because he got KD on his team. He led the league in shot attempts last year. He's not a quote-unquote true point guard. So what I want to ask those people who feel that way, or anybody else who feels that way, what is it that makes a true point guard? Why is Russell Westbrook a guy considered not a true point guard? When we're looking at point guards who score, Derrick Rose scores more than Russell Westbrook. Kyrie Irving, Stephen Curry, both guys who average over 20 points per game. And Tony Parker, in certain stretches of the playoffs for the Spurs, he averages over 20 points per game. Now, granted, I know none of them played with Kevin Durant on their team, and I used to think the same thing. When Russell Westbrook would take some shots, I would say, damn, maybe if he took 5 less shots and gave the ball to KD all 5 times, KD could probably average 35, 40 points a game. Now, side note for Kevin Durant. I think Kevin Durant, let's just say Russell Westbrook got injured and missed the whole season, right? We're not wishing that on him, but let's say that had happened. I think Kevin Durant could do what Kobe did the year where Kobe averaged, 35, 37 points per game that year. When Phil Jackson just said, all right, you want to prove you can score a lot of points, I'm going to let you do your thing this year, do your thing. I think Kevin Durant could do the same thing. But I think his team would suffer the same fate as Kobe's did, as in they would make the playoffs, maybe. They probably make the playoffs. I think Kevin Durant alone, they'll get in the playoffs the same way Kobe alone got the Lakers in the playoffs. Not alone, but just his presence alone meant that team was making the playoffs. But I don't think they're getting past the first round. A team like the Thunder without Russell Westbrook. They got past the Houston Rockets last year, but I think in the same situation, if it had started from the beginning of the series, I think the Rockets might have been able to get him. So Kevin Durant's a great player, but as y'all see, when all the defensive pressure is on that one guy, that focuses on that one guy, it's not as easy to score as you think it would be if you just the guy getting the ball every single time. Those of you out there who play ball, I don't care if it's your YMCA, your pickup game, whatever league you've been in, you ever been on the team where everybody in the building knew you was the top option and the only guy who could really create? Even though you better than everybody the defense got, when they're all focused on you, it is not as easy as it looks to score points. You need somebody else on your team to be that valve, that release valve, who can take the pressure off you. And Russell Westbrook is that guy for the Thunder. So people say he shoots too much for a point guard. Well, my question is, how much should a point guard shoot? I mean, he plays his position. That's the way he plays. And when people say traditional point guard, or you shouldn't shoot this much because you're a point guard, my question is, who is it that determines that? Right? Who makes the rules for how much you're allowed to shoot the ball depending on your position? The answer to that, obviously, is nobody. Nobody makes these rules. So you guys, a lot of you came up with these arbitrary things saying he's not a true point guard or he shoots too much for a point guard position. Like, based on what theory? Where is this coming from? You're a point guard and your job is to get points. Then you score. If your job is to pass, you pass. You have to adjust based on your situation. But based on the team the Thunder has, Russell Westbrook's job is to score, be aggressive. And when he was out there, the Thunder is going to the finals. When he isn't out there, you saw what happened to the Thunder. They didn't look too good. Even your man Kevin Durant, he didn't look that great. He was forcing a lot of shots. His efficiency went way down when he had to do it all on his own. We all know this. So the question I'm asking is, what is it that makes a true point guard, and why is it that Russell Westbrook's the only guy I ever see hit with the not a true point guard label when Stephen Curry, Kyrie Irving, Derrick Rose all average over 20 points a game, all shoot just as much. They might not have as many, like, by the exact number, I know. Russell led the league in shots, I know. But they all are shooting pretty much a lot of times. And they all average over 20. So why is Russell the only one who gets hit with the not a true point guard, shoots too much label when, and reality, if you look at Stephen Curry, Derrick Rose, Kyrie Irving, and Russell, who's had the most team success? Russell Westbrook. He's been to the conference finals. He's been to the NBA finals. He's had the success. I mean, Derrick Rose went to the conference finals. He lost. Stephen Curry only been to the second round. Kyrie Irving hasn't even been to the playoffs. So when people knock Russell Westbrook for these arbitrary things, I want to understand what is it you're measuring him by, because we play the game to win. So I guess this video is kind of in defense of the man, but I also want to know what y'all think. Why are you thinking these things about him, but nobody's saying it about anybody else? So let me know down there in the comments. I know this is going to be a good discussion amongst the viewers, because we all watch basketball, and a lot of people had a lot of comments before. Let me know what you think. Work on your game.
Yo, this Fernando from France. Work on your game.